and welcome to another edition of the Big Knick Energy Podcast. Check out our sponsor, Empire Original Designs at jointheempire.com, the East Coast #1 challenge coin manufacturer, the home of challenge coins, lapels, pins, patches, keychains, bottle openers, and more. Mention our podcast, Big Knick Energy, via email for 5% off purchases. Once again, that's jointheempire.com. I'm your host, Joe Yoke, the bald kid wonder. That's my co-host, the New York Postman, a.k.a. Trey Deuce, a.k.a. delivers every day, twice on Sunday. The Coach Postman Deuce. How you doing, buddy?
I'm well, brother. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Got back from Miami a couple days back, and
you are glistening right now.
That is not a vacation. Let me tell you, that is the opposite of relaxing.
Oh yeah, you were probably running around like a wild man.
Kinda. I mean, I went with my girlfriend and two of our other friends. The first night, just real quick, I ended up not getting any sleep before our flight at 7 a.m. And to drive from here to LaGuardia, we left at like 3:30, 3 o'clock, and got
I saw you got there early.
Dude, so early. We were there 3 hours before the plane, and I was like,
"That's the way to do it."
Too early, dude. There's no one there that early. You could show up 20 minutes before the plane and get through TSA.
Me and my brother, when we went to Orlando, we showed up like 3 hours early. He knows what he hated it. So he's on your side. I like to be early. I like to be prepared.
I took
a nap for 3 hours, Joe.
Oh, then your audio is terrible, and that makes sense. You know the 2 hour thing, like that people are like, oh my God, you have to show up 2 hours early. What if TSA takes so long? I've flown once to twice a year, almost every year of my life for the past like 10 to 15 years. You've never had to be there that early. I've never once like been cutting it close by getting there 2 hours early. I think that's a myth that someone tells you so they could just make more money in all those little shops.
Yeah, possibly. I think back when after the towers fell, I think that kind of was when it started to become a thing where you needed to like really get there super early because security was crazy. But since they loosened it back up, it's definitely been a lot quicker to the gate for sure.
Yeah, it's never taken me longer than 40 minutes personally. But real quick, the first day we were there, because we left so early, I never even fell asleep before Shannon's alarm went off. So I ended up staying up from 10 a.m. Thursday morning until 11 p.m. Friday night.
You Iron Manned it.
Entirely on accident. I didn't even want to do that. The Friday night, we ended up like between the drinking, smoking hookah. I stopped drinking at like 7 p.m. to try to hydrate because heat, exhaustion, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I never actually, before I fell asleep, I filled up a bucket with throw up like that much.
Oh, that's
like,
delicious. I'm
so
sure everyone's
much.
going to love to hear that.
Oh, yeah. It was, I mean, I had to experience this and everyone else does too. But Frank, you saw Space Jam while I was gone, I heard.
I did.
How was it?
I liked it, to be honest with you. I am a huge movie guy. My grandmother owned a video store in Brooklyn growing up. So
it's only because you're 6'5", they're a huge movie guy.
Yeah. I like that. I wouldn't be a little movie guy, I guess. It was good. So I went into it clean slate. I saw it got a lot of hate.
I'm like on Rotten Tomatoes.
Listen, I'm a huge kid at heart. I think that a lot of the hate came from like people watching this movie expecting it to hold a candle to the original Space Jam, which you just can't. I mean, how many times? Very, very few sequels are just as good as the original product. I can only name a few to begin with. So to go into it thinking that it was going to be any better than the original Space Jam was just crazy.
They had 23 years, 24 years to try to figure out to make a better one, though.
Well, I think like the kind of player MJ was for one, just like the shock. Remember when you saw Hangover 1 and like the shock value and just it being fresh, it was like, whoa, this movie is great.
Yeah.
And then you walked into the Hangover 2 and you kind of you knew what you were walking into, kind of.
Yes.
I think that's like what this was. I mean, you kind of knew what it was going to be. It was going to be a corny basketball movie with the tunes or whatever. But I think it did a couple of things well. I think it set up just the idea of a solid family and just having a father present in these kids' lives. I think was like something they really drove home. The positivity of having a father in a young man's life was super important. I also think that it was playful. It was corny, which is cool. I'm good with corny, especially when it comes to like kids movies. The first half of the basketball game was very I didn't like it.
From what I heard, what's it called? They didn't use a real scoring system. Is that true? Like it's just arbitrary scoring?
No, so his son makes a game through it's a video game.
Spoiler alerts.
Dude, what is wrong with your microphone, Vincent? What the fuck?
Spoiler alerts. Son makes a game. He gets brought into a computer, and basically the basketball game, he gets pinned against his father, LeBron James.
He gets taken in by Don Cheadle.
Yeah, and he basically he makes them play each other in his son's game. So the scoring system has to do with like style points and whatever. It's just the scoring is just ridiculous. Wasn't a big fan of the basketball game, but the second half, once the tunes kind of like loosened up and LeBron realized that his faults as a father was the same thing that was faulting his current basketball team, they loosened up and it was a lot more fun. It was
so what were his faults as a father? Like what was wrong?
He wasn't allowing his son to be himself.
Gotcha.
So, and he wasn't allowing the tunes to be themselves. So once he realized that he wasn't doing that and he let them be themselves, then they started succeeding, and everybody was more comfortable in their role, and
so the tunes in the first half were like when he had Larry Hughes and Drew Gooden on his team trying to take them to the conference finals.
Right. He was basically. I mean it was corny, it was cool, but I didn't mind it. I walked into it with a clean slate and just I got a couple of laughs out of it. Some of it I was just like, I'm just a little too old for this. But I think the huge problem was like a bunch of 30-year-olds went to go see this, and
without children,
right? And they were expecting the movie that they grew up with, and nothing is gonna. You're always gonna romanticize the things that you grow up with and that you love, and I think that was the problem with all these reviews. But I mean, it was cool. I would give it like I don't know, like a 5.5, a 6 out of 10. Like it was okay.
What would you give the first Space Jam? Also, you can watch the first Space Jam on Hulu right now. In case
the first Space Jam, I would give like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, the first Space Jam was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, but it also had like great writing, and like Bill Murray being in it. And
it actually had Michael Jordan being Michael Jordan the whole time,
and it was basketball.
And LeBron James being a cartoon for half of it, so they could just film the whole thing within 48 hours.
Right. Well, I also think that like it not having a real basketball game kind of like made it not as good as it could have been. Michael Jordan playing an actual basketball game against these monsters is what made that game or that movie what it is. Seeing the tunes like hoop with their little tune talents and whatever, like that was the cool part about it. And then Bill Murray coming in and just like, retiring after the dub, like, that's like just even thinking about how he was just like walking off the court, icing his knees, right? Didn't he have ice on his knees or something?
Yeah, like, I need to ice my knees right now, man. I think I'm gonna pull my ACL soon.
No, it was cool. I wanted you to watch it just because you have to watch. I would want you to watch it, like, even though like we're gonna do it on the pod right now, just watch it and let me know what you think just in our personal life, because I'm just like curious how everybody else takes it. But I mean, it wasn't. I would say watch it. Like, don't not watch it. It's not bad. Sure. People are like, oh, don't waste your time on this, but I mean, it's not that bad. Could have been a lot worse.
What about over the past 25 years, supposedly there might have been a golf jam with Tiger Woods or a Dale Earnhardt Jr. racing jam. Would you have watched any of those?
No.
Not even Tiger Woods? I'd watch Tiger Woods.
Well, I
not
mean,
Dale Earnhardt, but
I think
Jr.
basketball is the most palatable of the flashy sports. That's what makes it so visually enticing. Hockey is a really fast
I was gonna say, even though I'm not a hockey fan, I feel like I would watch a hockey version.
Well, I mean, think of how you think about the Mighty Ducks, right? Like, you
great
love
movie.
the Mighty Ducks, right? Exactly, like universally coveted as a great movie.
Yeah,
right. Even though, like, if you go watch it now and you listen to all the sound effects that when they shoot a shot or the puck hits something, it's just all corny. But like, as a kid, that was the shit. That movie.
I love the Big Nick Energy movie review we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to do it whenever, man. I love movies, dude. But like, basketball is basketball. To me, basketball is the greatest sport that's played.
I think basketball or soccer are the two most artistic, beautiful sports to watch. Personally.
Agreed. So that's what I was gonna say too. Soccer is also up there as far as like speed, teamwork. Because like basketball, you look at how soccer, you have to move a step back to move a step forward. It's pretty similar when it comes to basketball,
Just
playing
scoring
inside
way more.
out, outside in, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
Before,
Cool.
so I mean, I definitely have to watch it. Anyone that hasn't watched it or does watch it, leave it in the comment section when you do. Let us know what you think of it. See
Yeah.
if you give a higher scoring than the 30% or whatever it got on Rotten Tomatoes.
Definitely better than 30%. Definitely better.
According to you, it's 50%. So we
Yeah,
gotta at
I
least
would
do
say
that.
I think anybody that watches it that goes into it with just like a clean slate, they'll say it was 5 out of 10.
So the next thing we have to touch on, the
Mm.
actual story of basketball, is the NBA
You mean
Finals.
Space Jam wasn't the biggest story of this week?
No, in LeBron James's world, it would have been, since he wasn't in the game he actually wanted to play in.
Right.
The NBA Finals, the Bucks win 4-2. Giannis Antetokounmpo obviously is to say the Greek Freak isn't even like a good enough name anymore. He's like the Greek god at this point. I've seen it plenty of times, the pictures between him, like when he first gets drafted at like 6'8", 6'9", 180 pounds, to like the 6'11", 7 foot, 240 he is now, 250 he is now.
Yeah.
And this man
It's amazing.
He is literally like a taller Hulk. It's fantastic and crazy.
It's scary how much he's changed.
Did you see anyone that's watched? I'm sure everyone knows that this dude got 50 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks in the last game. One of the was it the second ever closeout 50-point game in finals history? Yeah, from the first one was in the 60s.
It was 1958.
58. There we go. What's the dude's name again?
I think it's Bob Petit.
Bob Pettit. Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah, Bob Pettit.
I knew you would have. I literally
knew
I
was gonna botch it. That's
name. Yes,
you knew I was gonna botch it.
You fell forward. I love it. But damn, Giannis went off. Obviously, did you see Rashad Phillips's tweet? Did you see Rashad Phillips's tweet that before Game 6 that Giannis isn't a hooper, he's a basketball player, and then all the uproar it caused?
I did not.
Oh God, this dude Rashad Phillips, who does like
I mean, you got to just say something, right?
Yeah, anything. He
like
gave pictures. He was like, these dudes are hoopers. These dudes are basketball players. Hoopers are more instinctual. Basketball players are more like calculated, but like not as instinctual. Like, and people took it. I don't take it as a diss per se, but I also think he's just full of shit because his basketball players were like Giannis, Tim Duncan, John Stockton, and someone else. And his hoopers were like Allen Iverson, Jamal Crawford. And it was just like, so you just like people that have fancy handles, and then people that don't have fancy handles, they're not hoopers because they don't have fancy handles. And last I checked, fancy handles are great at Rucker Park and great on street ball and video games. They don't win championships.
No.
And then someone online was saying that John Stockton, this is the most blasphemous stuff. John Stockton would have been ran off the court on Rucker Park. The all-time leading assist steals of the NBA wouldn't be able to play in Rucker Park.
I mean, you gotta
be so mad.
Obviously that's just being said so people just respond to it, right? That's my biggest
such trolling.
Well, that's my biggest thing about Twitter that I really, really dislike is that it is just a lot of everybody saying whatever they think at that moment in time just to get a rise out of someone, just in hopes that, I don't know, if 10,000 people retweet it or comment, or I don't know, man. I'm kind of like old school. I've been around the internet since the onset of it. I remember AOL 95 and dial up and all that stuff. I was
gonna say the internet started in like the 1960s for the war.
Well, yeah, but like once it was super accessible to
Frank, you got a time machine you're not telling us about?
Dude, when the internet became the internet, that's when AOL dropped and everyone started instant messaging and surfing the web. That's when the internet started for me, and that's when it really started. The technological advances started to move so quickly. I was there when Twitter first started. I mean, it's just like it's just crazy where it's gone. I try to just like stay positive and always keep a positive note or attitude or respect people, but that is just a breeding ground for negativity, man. I'm not surprised somebody's saying that John Stockton's going to get booed out of Rucker Park. I mean, anybody that has a brain knows that John Stockton is going to ball out no matter where he is.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I mean, dude, the worst player in the NBA is better than anyone you know.
on Rucker Park, of course.
Yeah. Literally anyone you know. Like the worst player in the NBA is the number 2 or 3 player in like the CBA, the Chinese Basketball Association. They're number 2 or 3 player in the Spanish Basketball League. Like other the best leagues, they'd be one of the best people. So it just blows my mind.
I wanted to I saw some stats on Giannis's speaking of Giannis, I said this morning, like now we can call him Giannis because dude is a straight G.
He's a G.
Yeah. He's the first player in NBA history to average at least 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists while shooting at least 60% from the field in a final series, which is like amazing. And
the full stats real quick are 35, 13, 5 at 62%.
Yeah, for the series, right?
Yeah, the series.
Right. And whenever you see first player, it's amazing. And he's the first player in NBA history to win most improved player, most valuable player, defensive player of the year, and a finals MVP.
And an all-star game MVP.
And an all-star game MVP. He is starting to be in a league of his own. And now I was most definitely smoking clickbait stuff because how could I ever take Trae Young over somebody that is a one of one?
You can't anymore. You can't.
I mean, it's kind of to the point where this guy is just.
Did Giannis take the mantle as the best current player? Did he pass KD and Kawhi and LeBron? Would you still take for next year to win a title? Would you rather have Giannis or KD on your team?
Probably KD.
Okay.
Probably.
I know recency bias. A lot of people would definitely say Giannis. I agree with you. I think I think Giannis is number 2. I would take Giannis over Kawhi or LeBron now or Steph.
I also wouldn't go that hard. I would say his ability to bounce back from injury is something that is eye-opening. I thought he was going to.
Who would you have him behind still outside of Durant?
I would never say LeBron James isn't a top 2 player in the world. Until he retires, LeBron James is the most prolific full basketball player we've ever seen and still see. This guy is. There was nobody like LeBron James. I mean, the guy's gonna lead most categories when he's done. But he
is 36, turning 37.
I mean, for sure,
it's too crazy to say a 26-year-old multiple time MVP is better than him at this moment.
I wouldn't say that yet.
I would. All right. Well, we disagree.
No, we can agree to disagree. I think LeBron James is probably the greatest basketball player to ever step on a court.
I definitely will disagree with you on that. I still think that's why you like the Space Jam so much.
Yeah, probably. I'm not a LeBron hater. Who do you think is the greatest player to step on a court? Jordan?
Yeah,
still?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that LeBron James is it's like how you categorize it.
I think LeBron has the largest skill set to ever step on the court.
He's the most talented basketball player.
I think he's like his passing is better than Jordan, but like Jordan overall is a straight killer, 6-time champion, 3-time three-peat, every single finals MVP.
I'm with it. I know the stats. I just think that LeBron James is the most full-rounded, talented basketball player and specimen to ever touch a basketball.
Nikola Jokic is more well-rounded than Giannis is from an offensive standpoint, but he's not a better player,
I mean, that's debatable though, because didn't he just come off an MVP?
Yeah, but he doesn't play defense nearly as well.
I mean, sure.
But in general, there are dudes that are like well-rounded that aren't the best, is what I was trying to say.
I mean, but you love the one skill-setted skyrocket guys that are just like they give you that one thing that's crazy good. And I don't know, man. I'm more of like a
Jordan also averaged 34, 11, and 7 in multiple finals.
I think I'm also a guy that thinks that Magic Johnson is the greatest player of all time. So
he's third to me. But okay.
All right, so at least we're still in like the ballpark.
I mean, it's hard to like. You can't to say
I
the
don't know.
top three or four. It's like hard
I
for
don't know.
most people to say disagree.
I think maybe like me saying that LeBron James's career.
It's not like
is
anyone's gonna be
coming
like,
to
"Yo,
an end.
AI and Shaq are 1 and 2 ever." Like, no one's gonna be that crazy.
Maybe it's just me going through like a little baby midlife crisis because like I remember LeBron coming into the league being in like junior high school and now he's on his way out and it's like, oh wow, I'm getting old.
Dude, watch. If you want to be amazed, we were just amazed by Giannis's finals. Watch the 93 finals, Jordan's first one against the Suns and Charles Barkley. One of the greatest series of all time.
For sure. Who has the greatest finals performance of all time?
I don't know off the top.
I have LeBron James against.
Well, LeBron James 2016, right? So the Shaq 2000, Jordan 93, and the Giannis one that just happened like the ones that have been talked about in the past couple of days. Yeah,
polarizing. I think
unless
LeBron is.
Frank, anytime you want to share a couple blunts one day and we just watch all 4 of those series, I'm totally down.
I don't indulge no more, but I would still. I'll have some drinks with you and do that if
That's
you want.
Fine. I'm so down. We can live cast it. I'll literally anyone that wants to watch us for 20, 30, however long it would take to watch.
I would do that. I would do that for sure. I was also just because I thought this was like a cool idea, just like ode to the Bucks winning. I was like looking at Kareem's stats in the finals that they won.
Yeah.
In comparison to Giannis's. And I wanted.
What was that? 72, right? Or it's 71.
I think it was 70. I think it was 71.
Years, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty comparable, if not more. Giannis had more impressive numbers, which was kind of cool. For some reason, the Basketball Reference website doesn't keep like blocks and steals. I don't know if they were keeping that stat back then.
Start as a stat until 78.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Although I'm sure Kareem would have had 4 or 5 a game. That's the
right blocks, right?
Yeah.
Well, the game one. Well, they only went. I think it went 4 for the Kareem chip, but game one, Giannis, 20 points, 17 total rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. I'm not going to go into shooting percentages because they're in the 50s.
Yeah,
because all he does is just dunk and be at the rim. Kareem's numbers was 30 points, 17 rebounds.
Well, I would say don't go through every game one by one. What was Kareem's average?
It didn't. Yeah, pull that up real quick. Okay. I clipped every game just because I thought going through them would have been pretty cool. But it looks like he was probably around like.
What year was that? 1971?
71. I'm gonna guess it was like 26 to 27 points a game.
20s. Statmuse.com is so dope now, by the way. They find everything. 27, 27 points, 18 and a half rebounds, 3 assists.
All right, so I was close with the points.
Yeah.
You said statmuse.com?
Statmuse, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that on the.
They're super fast.
Cool. I'm gonna throw that on the trusty.
So yeah, a little bit worse. Giannis had a better series. I mean, dude.
Oh, without a doubt.
Without even having to go back through every single final series ever, it's like like I just said, it's one of the top 4, one way or another.
Yeah, and Vin just wrote in the chat if we're going to do that, maybe we can do that potluck and introduce.
That would be dope.
The potluck studio to the Big Knick Energy fan base. That'd be pretty cool.
Hell yeah, I'd be all about that. Also, speaking of stuff to mention, make sure to like and subscribe to us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Follow Frank and myself on Twitter and Instagram, obviously. And Frank, the next thing now I want to talk about, speaking of Twitter.
Sure.
So I've been going back and forth. Well, Brutus Gorham, who's at Be True to Life, BTRUE2TOLIFA on Twitter, is like a diehard Derrick Rose. I would honestly say fanatic. Like, this dude tweets a lot about the Knicks and has for a while. He tweets about the New York Giants too. But this man, like I was saying before, Derrick Rose won the MVP vote for fan voting. I'm pretty sure this dude voted more than anyone else in order.
Yeah, he was just mashing the button. He's mashing it,
mashing the Derrick Rose love hype.
Mashing it.
So with this thing that we're doing right now, I literally made the Derrick Rose current point guard power rankings.
Where did he have him?
So he didn't even do it. I literally told him to. He was like, I don't want to go. He just dodged it, whatever.
He was too good
And
for
he
it.
was like, "Yo, where do you think you have him?" Everything. I was like, "Listen to the podcast, and I'll do it for the next one."
Beefing? Are we beefing with him?
No, not at all. No, this dude's
All
mad
right.
chill. He's
All
mad cool. He just
right. I
loves
was gonna
Derrick
say
Rose.
you just let me know where.
No. He's mad chill. I think he's like a pastor or something. Super cool.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
no.
We ain't beefing. No.
Yeah,
We ain't beefing.
no. We love God. But what's it
Up.
called? So before I actually did the ranking, I literally went through. Also, just disclaimer: I know ESPN is a trash website, or people don't like ESPN. I don't dislike it, but whatever. I used ESPN as list who point guards were or were not. They did not have SGA as a point guard, so I don't have him on the list. I would have had him around 12th. They don't have Donovan Mitchell, Spider, as a point guard. I would have had him 6th or 7th. So there are people that are not on here that people are like,
you rank these guys too?
I did the whole
order.
I did the whole shebang.
I threw, of course you did. I'm not surprised. I just threw a bunch of names up that I thought were better. Obviously the ones.
So you're gonna be faster than me. I would say you go first because mine's
you want me to go? So I think
rattle off who you think's better. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's just I got like 21 guards ahead of him. Not to say just for Knicks land, not to say that I don't like Derrick Rose or that I think that he's not good. I think that there are just 21 other point guards I would rather take on my team right now than Derrick Rose.
Today, like within the past 365 days. Like we're playing tomorrow.
If you give me MVP D Rose, then that's a completely different story. But today,
MVP D Rose would be number 2 on my list, but that's not what
today. Who would be number 1? Steph.
Yeah.
I got. Did I have Steph? Okay, I got Westbrook. I
hope you have Steph Curry.
Yeah, no, I was just seeing where I had him on the list because, like I said, I didn't put him in order.
You didn't put him in order, yeah.
No, I just shot him out.
So Westbrook, Dame, Steph.
Westbrook, Dame, Jamal Murray, De'Aaron Fox, Kyrie, Lowry, Terry Rozier, Steph, Trae Young, Ja, Drew Holiday, Kemba, CP3, LaMelo, probably Cole Anthony, D'Angelo Russell, Mike Conley, Lonzo Ball, DeJounte Murray, Dennis Schroeder, John Wall.
You have Derrick Rose way worse than I do.
Darius Garland and Malcolm Brogdon.
Okay.
And then, how many? And then I think that's 21. I just spit out right there.
We don't even have like a fourth of the same names on our list. This is actually kind of crazy.
I mean, I think that there are a lot of point guards that I would rather have right now. I mean, I know Derrick Rose, I think, had like the 17th highest efficiency rating.
Yeah, somewhere around
in the league. I mean,
between like 18th and 24th, depending on which of the 1,000 advanced metrics there are.
Yeah. I mean, I like Derrick Rose. I would take him, but I mean, I don't think that.
Okay, so that's crazy to me that you have Lonzo on there.
I do, over him, just off of like potential, and
that's the thing. And no, potential doesn't matter. There is no potential.
Well, to me, it does.
Right. On the sake of the list that I promised this dude I would make anyway, was that it's not based on potential.
It's just off of.
It's like we were playing today, and I need to beat the dude in front of me.
Well, if
that's why when you said like Lonzo, DeJounte Murray, I'm like, oh damn, what?
Well, if you would have told me that it wasn't based off of potential, I would probably have a much shorter list.
Okay, so I literally went through every team on ESPN's roster, like every team roster on ESPN, and then at first put yes or no, and then had them listed afterwards. So the Celtics point guards, Marcus Smart, Peyton Pritchard, no, neither one of them are better. The Nets, Kyrie, yes. The Sixers, Ben Simmons, yes. The Raptors.
Do they consider Ben a point guard?
He's listed as a point guard. He handles the ball the most.
Then Ben Simmons is on my list as well. Then
okay. The Raptors, Kyle Lowry. Did I not put him on here? I did not end up putting. All right, I know where Lowry is. I'm gonna say Lowry, yes. All right. Yep. So Steph, yes. Clippers have Reggie Jackson, Rajon Rondo. Neither one. The Lakers have Dennis Schroeder. No, although if we count LeBron, then yes, but he's listed as a small forward. The Suns, Chris Paul, yes. The Kings, De'Aaron Fox, yes. Bulls, Kobe White, no. The Cavs, Sexton and Garland. I had Sexton above him, Garland not.
Okay.
The Pistons, no shot. I don't even fucking Killian Hayes. Are you kidding me? The Pacers, Malcolm Brogdon, yes. The Bucks, Drew Holiday, yes. The Hawks, Trae Young, yes. The Hornets, LaMelo Ball, yes. Devontae Graham, no. The Heat would have been a yes last year between Dragic and Hero, but what the fuck happened to those dudes?
Dragic's starting to get a little bit old. See, like I don't look at guys like Hero as a point guard. He's a
He's
two
listed. I
guard.
mean, I was just going, like I
I
said,
know. I
straight off
got you. I
ESPN.
got you. I
But
got you.
Tyler Hero like did not do well at all this year. That man should not live in Miami. He's too young and full of himself. The Magic, Fulton, Cole Anthony, no. The Wizards, Westbrook, obviously, yes. The Nuggets, Jamal Murray, yes. The Timberwolves, D'Angelo Russell, Ricky Rubio, no. The Thunder, no to Theo Maledon. If they counted SGA, I would have said yes, obviously, I said that before, but they don't have him as that. So no. The Trailblazers, Dame, yes. The Jazz, Mike Conley, barely, yes. The Mavs, Luka Doncic, yes. The Rockets, John Wall, no. The Grizzlies, John Morant, yes. New Orleans, Lonzo Ball, no. Spurs, Murray and White, both no. I said maybe next year, probably, but no right now. So, and then I ordered them in the actual order of my list.
Okay.
So I currently have Derrick Rose as the 18th best point guard in the NBA if I was playing today to Brutus. One is Steph Curry, 2 is Dame Lillard, 3 is Chris Paul, 4 is Luka Doncic, 5 is Kyrie Irving, 6 is Trae Young, 7 is De'Aaron Fox, 8 is Russell Westbrook, 9 is Drew Holiday, 10 is Jamal Murray, 11 is Ben Simmons, 12 is Malcolm Brogdon, 13 is John Morant, 14 is Mike Conley, 15 is Kyle Lowry, 16 is Colin Sexton, 17 is LaMelo Ball, and 18 is Derrick Rose. And yes, I do think LaMelo Ball is way better than Lonzo Ball, even after one.
I think LaMelo Ball is a lot better than Lonzo Ball.
You didn't have him on your list, though. You had Lonzo on your list. And
No,
LaMelo is definitely
no. I said LaMelo.
Oh, I thought you said Lonzo only.
No, I said LaMelo 6 spots up from Lonzo, 5 or 6 spots.
Word.
I for some reason, like I don't really think as what's his face as a point guard either.
Luka.
Yeah, I mean, like I just kind of go like the traditional point guard because like Ben Simmons obviously better than D Rose, Luka obviously better than D Rose.
Dude, I mean, think that even without the ESPN thing, they literally handled the ball the most.
Yeah, no, I feel you, but to me, it's just like I don't know. I look at Luka just like I don't know. I mean, I guess he's a point guard. You know, I just look at guys that are kind of in the same realm of the traditional point guard. Like Luka's obviously not a traditional size.
He's not like a
guard.
6'2", 6'3" point guard. He's like 6'9".
I'm kind of just thinking about guys
dudes.
that are right. That's kind of why. That's like if LeBron James was, you know, considered a point guard, I wouldn't consider him a point guard.
Dude, LeBron James on Basketball Reference has like 4 years of being a starting point guard.
Oh, I know, and that's why I'm saying that. Like, I wouldn't consider LeBron a point guard. He'd be a point forward. That's kind of how I think of Luka. He's kind of like a point forward a little bit.
Also, if LeBron was on this list, he would be my number 1 over Steph Curry for obvious reasons. But don't list him that way.
I mean, safe to say, there's just a lot of guys that are better than D Rose.
I had 8. I had
you
17
have 18, and
better.
I had
he is 18.
I mean, he'd be 22, so he's not that far off.
I don't, dude. If you looked at, I know DeJounte Murray is like good and all. Like the Spurs didn't do that great this year, and now this dude is just in on the Olympic. Oh no, they have Keldon Johnson on the Olympic team.
I've always liked DeJounte Murray. I like his like pace. I think he's like one of those. He's kind of like Luka. Like you're not gonna rush this guy.
Yeah, moves at his own speed.
Right. It's kind of like how Paul Pierce moved. Like I just like you're not gonna force me to move. I'm gonna do what I need to do and get to where I need to get at my own pace. And I kind of like that style of play.
Did you call bank? No, I called game.
I called game. Legendary. I mean, the guy is, I mean, respect to Paul Pierce, but you're a terrible analyst, but you were a hooper. That dude's a hooper.
Yeah, exactly. So we should talk about the Knicks a little bit at least, right? This is
all right, podcast. I guess. Sure.
So 2 things I wanted to bring up about the Knicks, and neither one of them are draft related. We'll get into a lot of draft stuff next week. Obviously, draft is next week. And I think every single person and their mother has covered Dame Lillard and Colin Sexton ad nauseum at this point. So I'm going to throw out a name out there that's going to be a unrestricted free agent when he denies his player option after winning the NBA Finals.
You want me to give you a buy or buy?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to do a little buy or buy right now.
Okay.
I'm going to throw the number 2. See if you'd want to actually give him to him at this price.
Okay.
Bobby Portis, $11 million a year. Are you bringing him back to the New York Knickerbockers?
I loved when we had him to begin with.
$11 million. You cool with that?
I don't know. Do you think he's going to be worth more after winning this chip.
I mean, his player option that he's denying is 3.6.
So you
So
think
that's already a significant increase.
that is a pretty big increase. Yeah, I mean, I take it for 11 mil. I mean,
some 3-year 33 mil action. Bring Bobby back with those big old eyes.
Yeah. I mean, he can come back if he would like to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if he, just stays with the Bucks.
I think he's gonna go wherever pays him the most money. Honestly,
You think so?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't blame him.
He's like the 8th best player on their team. Why not just
I don't
go
blame him. I mean, I would take Bobby Portis back for sure.
You're the bag.
That's like the old Phil Jackson way of just getting as many power forwards as humanly possible. Remember when we just had nothing but power forwards on our team for a little bit?
Let's get Melo and Amare and Tyson Chandler.
Yeah, let's just do it all. I mean,
can we bring David Lee back? Actually?
I'm good on. I mean, I'm good with it. I'll buy into that for sure.
Cool. Word up. Me too. Same. That's why I brought it up. I fucking love Bobby Portis. Also, I think the idea of having a backup center that he can play, like, he doesn't block the rim nearly as well as Nerlens or Mitchell Robinson does, but great backup center.
Why do I, who I'm curious about that I actually kind of like and I think we can get for cheap?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a free agent or not. If he's a free agent, I'd be happy. John Henson, I like a lot. I think
we literally didn't. We had him on the team.
We had him, and then we waived him, right?
Pelt because he got hurt, so we just kept Pelt.
Yeah,
dude. John Henson literally isn't like even NBA caliber anymore because of like injuries and just like he never improved.
That's why I was like, damn, why is this name? Why is he coming to me?
He was
right
on
now?
the Knicks,
and he was on the Knicks, right?
Yeah, that's why.
But he only had like a cup of coffee with us, and then we caught him.
All right, dude, that lost the NBA Finals. Do you want to bring back Langston Galloway? He didn't even play for the Suns. He literally
probably not.
All right, so no, my other actual question was more like a couple of years from now. Two questions actually regarding Devin Booker. One is, will you ever hear Devin Booker compared to Kobe Bryant ever again?
Yeah,
because I hope not. Honestly, after these,
he's so young though, man. He's still so young.
Dude, the Beach legendary thing, like he literally had to say in a press conference, "Stop comparing me." Like I know we all miss and love Kobe, but like until Devin Booker even gets a finals championship, please stop with the comparisons. Kobe got 5.
Dude, I mean, it's fun.
They don't play that similar. He just likes mid-range pull-ups.
I know he does love the mid-range off the curl. I mean, it's fun to do it because you just want to have Mamba around still. Like I like the idea of it. I don't think it's fair to Devin Booker that we compare him to Kobe because Kobe, there was just one Kobe. I know everyone compares him to Mike because he compared himself to Mike and he mimicked Mike and all of his moves. But
at least, I mean, Kobe had the 5 championship rings and like 2 or 3 finals MVPs to back it up too. So
yeah,
Devin Booker still at 0-0 and might not make the finals again for another 5 to 10 years.
Speaking of championship rings, go off the rails a little bit. I tweeted, do you think that LeBron's bubble ring counts?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it counts, right? But like, do you think anything's taken away from it due to the bubble?
No. I think the worst part for them was that the Heat made it to the championship instead of the Celtics, because I think we probably would have looked better on it if it was LA versus Boston again and Jaylen Brown against LeBron James. But instead we had Jimmy Butler.
I know. And they look like shit this year, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Tyler Hero went out in Miami too much. They were better off in the bubble.
yeah, it's true, eh?
Yeah. I'm kind of out of topics, Frank, for the week, honestly, since we're gonna do all the draft stuff next week.
I mean, I just want to say, everybody just be on the lookout for us. We're gonna be in Brooklyn by the Barclays Center for the draft. We're gonna be out there on the 29th.
Yep.
Come by. Just like meet and greet. Vin, what's the area we're gonna be in?
While he's trying to type that to us, also anyone that's listens, we're gonna be at McMahon's Bar in Brooklyn, right down the road from Barclays Center.
The Barclays. Come by, come through, say what's up, meet and greet.
Also, everyone that listens, make sure to comment to us on the YouTube page that this is gonna be on, and because we're gonna have the best comments on the YouTube page, we're going to bring them up at the draft, and we are going to do a live pod there as well. So any and all questions we're totally down for.
Yeah, and also if you
Including
guys
how old I was when I started balding.
if you guys have any topics you want us to touch on as well, me and Joe are always in touch with our followers, and if we'll pick the best ones that you guys have, and we will, please, by all means, let us know what you want to hear, and we will oblige. We're happy to just touch on any topics you guys want to hear. So let us know.
Absolutely. We'll even touch on how comparing Terry Rozier to Colin Sexton is the stupidest thing I've ever heard anyone try to do, especially when you compare Terry Rozier's first year in the league of averaging 4.8 points a game or 6.8 points a game or whatever.
He's
Colin
good though,
Sexton
man.
averaging 17 and 3.
Scary Terry's good though, man.
Sure. I mean, before the past 2 years, his highest average was 11.
Come on, don't be so hard on the guy. Come on, Joe. People grow, man. Just not your hair. Just not your hair.
Exactly. That's fine. I'm totally cool with that. But I don't know. I don't even want Sexton on the Knicks, and yet
starting.
For people that actually dislike Colin Sexton, I actually kind of want him on the Knicks just because, like, I feel like he will try really hard, or
I mean,
he get back the whole time. Who knows?
You know how I feel. I'm such a tainted fan. Just come and play. You want to play? You want to be here? I'll take you. There was such a long time where nobody wanted to be a Knick, and then we started to change this culture, and now people are good. Like, oh, I'll come play there. You want to come play? Come play.
As long as we don't sell the whole house for Damian Lillard.
Don't sell the house. Sign free agents. Don't sell the house. Don't
free
sell
agents
the house.
and draft. And with that, check out our sponsor of Empire Original Designs again at jointheempire.com, the East Coast #1 challenge coin manufacturer, home of challenge coins, lapels, pins, patches, keychains, bottle openers, and more. Mention our podcast, Knick Energy, via email for 5% off purchases. Once again, that's jointheempire.com. I'm Joe Yoke. That's Trey Deuce, the coach man. Make sure to like and subscribe to our page, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. I occasionally go on our TikTok, but I mean, fuck TikTok.
Oh, you're so current.
Maybe. Let's go, Knicks.
Let's go, Knicks.
Peace.